est interdit dans un stade qui n'est pas plein à craquer, mais qui est bien garni.
An absolute hammer in 62-0.
The referee, George Clancy. Well, it's been very blustery this week in this part of the world. Sam James gets us underway, and the sun hanging very low over the backs of the Toulon players, so it could be quite a troublesome 20 or 30 minutes for Mike Haley at fullback for Sale today. You would have thought there's a chance balls are going to go aerial, but that's a brilliant break so early there from Toulon. Havana combining with Lee Halfpenny. On from TU Sport. There's Pierre Bernard. Nonu, the long pass out to O'Connor. Well, it may well have gone forward. It was asking just a bit too much of James O'Connor out wide there from Nonu.
What a start from Toulon, that. Breaking out their own 22.
Advantage over.
Rob Webber taking it into the contact. Oh, and a half charge down. The big hands there from Samu Manoa. What a powerful ball carrier he is. Here's Lee Halfpenny, who was down here 4 hours ago practicing his kicking. Certainly has the work ethic of a former Toulon kicker. And they'll now have a chance to put that practice into game practice, if you like.
Yeah, what Sale are going to be really careful of. Obviously started off early, a break from Toulon. Defensively pretty porous, but then an early kick charge down, just offering Toulon the opportunity for Halfpenny and Havana to run the ball back. Got to clear your lines. Interestingly enough, now Toulon heading to the corner.
Well, there was a little bit of indecision there. Lee Halfpenny was coming forward. He'd ordered the kicking tee. Gilles Panzani, the water boy, was out of the blocks and had to put over the touchline, but they decided to go for the corner.
Yeah, it's a bit of a statement of intent. Obviously, they know they've got to get 4 tries and the 5 points from this game. Started early, running it out there, 22. Obviously looking for tries as opposed to kicks at goal early on.
Magnus Lund, he has experience of playing here during his days at Biarritz. The line out works effectively there for Toulon. The shadows lengthening. What has proven to be a glorious Sunday afternoon. Guillaume Girardeau, the France captain. TU Sport, they're on to Bastereau. What a challenge it is in midfield today for Sale. There's TU Sport, the little offload. The carry there from the St Abrigan van der Merwe. And they've got a numerical advantage if they can get it through the hands. Nonu, there are men out wide, he may not need them, Nonu. What a start from Toulon. Well, until now, the big fella, he'd scored a try in a World Cup final, but never scored one in European rugby. He has now.
It was the 1-2, wasn't it, early on, of the big boys in the centre. Bastereau takes 3 or 4 guys to bring him down, and then watch this. Nonu picks up the little loose ball there, hands off. A couple of Sale defenders, pumps the legs, keeps going and carries 2 of the Sale boys over as well. The power of Nonu and Bastereau in the centres. It's going to be pretty difficult all afternoon for Sale if they don't stop those 2 early on.
Just get you a small bit there. Yeah, just get you a small bit out here. Come on. Yeah.
Yes, it was always going to be quite a prospect, wasn't it, for Mark Jennings and Will Addison in the midfield for Sale. I saw Sam Tuitapau and Johnny Liotta. They were staying in the same hotel as me last night, not with the team. They've got a week off in some respects. Whilst they may be the most appropriate men in the field up against the Nonus and Bastereaus of this world, they're probably quite grateful to have had the week off.
I'm sure they are, although those 2 do love a hit. The issue there for Will Addison and Mark Jennings, both of them going too high. Trying to grab around the shoulder area, and when Bastereau and Nonu get their legs pumping, it's pretty difficult to stop. You've got to go low. Stop that momentum early. What a start for Toulon, though.
So Lee Halfpenny out here from before noon. Well, he was knocking him over virtually with his eyes shut earlier. Yes, that's what happens.
A bit of a collector's item there, but just watch this power again from Nonu. Fends off Pearce. Charnley there, just going too high. Got to understand, you've got to hit them low. I thought it was Will Addison, but actually Charnley hasn't made any effort at all really to tackle him.
Yes, he's been exposed a little in defence since he made the move from league to union. Remember that try from Tom Van Dale in the Aviva Premiership a couple of weeks ago. There's Tuesboard. Back to Pierre Bernard. Chance for Sam James to bring it up. Close here to Lawrence Pearce. Pearce having his first start since the opening night of the Aviva Premiership. And Sale lost to Newcastle. There's David Seymour, one of the old boys from that last visit here, a little more than 4 years ago, when Sale were beaten by 62 points to nil. Ouch, 9 tries on that occasion.
A little indiscretion there from Girardeau, not rolling away. Poor clearance kick there from Bernard, and interestingly now Sale has absolutely nothing to lose themselves, no chance of qualification, going for the corner, doing exactly what Toulon did to them. You just see here Girardeau, just hands on the floor there, not rolling away, on one knee, clear penalty. It's good to see Sale going for the corner though, a bit of attacking intent from them.
Mantel Fifanua there on the right, and one of the Japanese World Cup heroes, Ayuma Koromaru, who we haven't seen too much of since he joined Toulon. He's been injured for much of the time. This is a promising situation for the men from the Northwest. Mike Phillips just providing the encouragement and the guidance. There with Bryn Evans. And to Phillips. Taken down by Liam Gill, the Australian, who's made a real impact since he moved here. There's Harrison. Offload there to John Mills, who recently made his 100th appearance for Sale.
That's fine, that's fine. Play on, it's all clear.
Well, it's turned over. It's Dwayne Vermeulen, the Springbok, who's claimed it. Second most turnovers this season in the top 14. Here's Halfpenny. Well, he was taken out late, much to the displeasure of the locals over on the far side. Led back by Charney. Here's Addison, the captain. His return last week in the narrow defeat at Harlequins, really gave Sale a boost. Pearce there just getting caught by Manoa. That was Haley. On to Webber. A little dummy there from the hooker. Haley again. Bursting through. Well, he's trying to, was Mark Jennings. They've settled down quite nicely, haven't they, Sale?
Yeah, they have. You can see they're putting width on the game, looking to attack from every opportunity. No boot to ball yet.
Well, the ball going forward there from Bryn Evans, and here goes Manoa on there to Tuesboard. That was Vermeulen. Juan Martin Fernandez Lobby playing against his former club, of course. Came down from Sale to Toulon with Philippe Saint-André. Great step there from Nonu. Well, there's space, and well, not only was it a poor execution, I think it was probably a poor choice.
Yeah, horrendous choice from Nonu there. 2v1. He had James O'Connor outside him as well. Just gifted the ball back to Sale.
Carry there from Aulika, the Tonga international.
Outside.
Jennings. Pierre Bernard.
Stay here.
Kicks it infield.
Okay. Wait.
It's comfortable for Lee Halfpenny.
Some fairly average kicking going on at the minute, bit of kick tennis.
Well, the fine margins of the European Cup have been pretty accurately summed up by events at Parky Scarlets in the last 2 rounds. There's Matt Gitto, good to see him back.
Yeah,
first time since August.
Yeah, fantastic to see him back. Obviously 7 months out with the broken ankle. He has such an impact on this Toulon team. When he plays, Toulon generally win about 80% of their games, and when he doesn't, it's about 55%.
Manoa there with the carry, taking play just inside the Sale half. Here's Pierre Bernard, time to inject some pace, and also Lee Halfpenny. Space here for Brian Habana, who hasn't really been the hit since he moved to the south of France. That was a loose pass, picked up by Bernard. This may well work for Toulon. Inside the 22, Liam Gill, the first man onto the scene. Through to James O'Connor, just drifting across field. Tries to get it away, and there was a shriek of pain from James O'Connor. Looks rather like the Achilles, perhaps.
Yeah, certainly holding his ankle there. Potentially Achilles as well. Never nice to see. You just see the bouncing ball here. Alika half goes for it. Bernard takes the opportunity, makes the break. You often see breaks off bounce passes. Defences just get caught. Alika, what was he doing there? Going for the little kick of the ball. Or potentially the man. Both teams coming with some real attacking intent. It's actually quite loose at the minute. Toulon have got every idea of trying to get the 4 tries and the victory. Sale have arrived here with nothing to lose and a real attacking intent as well, and it's great to see so many English players in.
You okay, 14?
The Sale match day 23.
James O'Connor thinks he's okay. Just to illustrate how important events over there in West Wales were and the impact that they've had on events here. This is how Pool 3 stands at the moment. Saracens top. That draw, certainly good news for them, preserve that unbeaten record. Scarlets now, well, imagine if they'd hung on, they'd be up to 12 points here, and then with a real chance of qualifying next week as one of the best runners-up. Toulon, well, now in 14 points, but they know that if they can get here not only a victory, but the 4th try, the 5th point, that will take them past the Scarlets, whatever happens next weekend. So the Scarlets could be eliminated this afternoon. And really that try there from Chris Ashton, followed by the conversion, has had pretty deadly impact on the aspirations of the Scarlets.
Understand that.
So 5 points to nil. We're through the first 10 minutes.
This is a real area for Toulon. Obviously Richard Cockerell has only been here since Wednesday. They got absolutely hammered at scrum time last week against Clermont in the top 14. I think Francois van der Merwe, Marcel van der Merwe at loosehead prop make a big difference.
Well, the pick up from Lawrence Pearce, who's yet to really prove himself to have made that step up from the Championship to the Aviva Premiership. Back to Sam James. 9 and 10 have been the problem positions all season for Steve Diamond. Havana hoists it. 2D, comfortable for Mike Haley, even when he's squinting into that very bright sunshine, which is now hanging low over the Mediterranean Ocean. I hope I'm doing a good job of making the fellows back in the studio envious, as well as those people watching. Quite a scene if you look to our right, isn't it?
It's very nice here. What a kick that is from Mike Haley, though. Massive clearance from his own 22. Get the ball within a couple of metres of Toulon's 22 from the mark. Quality player, Mike Haley. Really enjoy watching him play.
Yes, he's one of those players breathing down the neck of Mike Brown, isn't he? He's been on the fringes of the wider England squad in recent months. There's Team Sport. Good one. Here comes Charlie. James, the stab over the top, bounces perfectly for James. Well, that's dream stuff. Well. Every now and again you need a little bit of luck in running. The bounce of the rugby ball so often does that. But that was utterly flawless. Completely foxed the Toulon defence.
Yeah, got a tiny bit lucky there with the bounce. 3 Toulon players in his grasp, but what a bit of an opportunism there from Sam James. Made his debut at 10 versus Toulon back in October. It's a big unit as well. Runs hard, runs fast. You make your own luck sometimes though, don't you? Chance his arm with a little chip kick. Bounce goes his way. You can see Tillos Board coming across there and Vermeulen. Halfpenny can do absolutely nothing about it. Absolute brilliance.
He's a big lad, isn't he, Sam James? But he's a very two-footed footballer. A little chip with the right. Very comfortable on the left foot. Started off his rugby career as a fly half, but with one or two problems within the squad. He's been handed the fly half duties by Steve Diamond in recent weeks.
Brilliant bit of skill. Yes, he gets a bit of luck there, but if you don't try those sort of things, you're never going to make your own luck, are you? Bastareaud looks on. Can't believe their misfortune there, but cracking start to this game.
The sort of restart you'd have been proud of there, Andy, from Pierre Bernard, but it still went the way of Sale. Taken into the contact by Harrison. And it is for Mike Phillips. Mike Phillips, who had a few seasons down in France, initially with Bayonne and then Racing 92. Bernard. There's the try scorer, Sam James. Brian Habana showing all the awareness that you tend to associate with a man who's played more than 100 times for his country.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant play there from Brian Habana. A real simple thing, done well. Got his foot out before he caught the ball. We've seen many players make errors there in carrying the ball over the touchline as they're catching the ball. He knew exactly where he was, knew perfectly placed field positioning. Sam James's kick there is gifted Toulon a lot of territory.
He's bored onto Bernard. Here's Nonu off the right foot. Well, not for the first time today, not the best kick, but James O'Connor doing what he can to turn it into a good one. Keep the ball in hand, I suspect, might be the advice from Mike Ford.
Yeah, bizarrely, Nonu kicked it 5 times last week, and if there is a weakness in his game, which there aren't many, it is that. So, ball in hand, Nonu, you've barged over past 4 or 5 defenders already. 2 loose kicks. Maybe it's something that Mike Ford has highlighted in the week as a tactical option. For me, you've got to keep it ball in hand.
Onto Bernard. There goes Vermeulen. Liam Gill putting his hand up for it. Lee Halfpenny taking play 8 to 9 metres inside the Sale half. That is Van der Merwe, the former Bull. Sale get the foot in. You may have heard there George Clancy taken in by Toulon, didn't use it. Well smothered by the men in what I guess you can describe as motorway maintenance yellow.
Yeah, it's not a great colour, is it? Good to see Richard Cockerell in the red of Toulon though, bouncing back so quickly after the sacking from Leicester. He's a fantastic coach, is Richard Cockerell. The detail that he brings to forward play specifically, his top draw, and he'll make a real impact here at Toulon. Their set piece all year has been fairly average, and the detail that Richard Cockerell will bring to players like Samu Manoa, Van der Merwe in the front row as well, can only improve them.
Don't want to take the shine off that, Andy, but Sale have won just 4 matches this season. One of those against what was then Richard Cockerell's Leicester.
Yeah, it's not been a great season for Sale so far. Losing players like Tommy Taylor last year.
To use forward in space, and look at Habana. Habana stepping inside a dogwood. Important tackle made, coming across by Mike Phillips. It's now loosed over Sale. The kick ahead, Mark Jennings was taken down. Well, Mark Jennings and Marcel van der Merwe just squaring up. That was a little bit naughty, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It's great to see Mark Jennings back on the field. His first appearance for about 6 months, I think it is, was against Toulon back in October. He's not played a massive amount of rugby this year, so he's got a fair bit of anger inside him. Potentially a yellow card there for me. Deliberately taking him out there. Van der Merwe knew he was getting absolutely done for pace, was worried what was at the back for Toulon, and George Clancy could have given him a yellow card.
Okay.
He certainly didn't fancy the run back, did he?
Ian Garrado there, France captain. Doesn't lead the Toulon side, so Will Addison. Captain for the first time today. Also has the kicking duties. Just a little bit of a snap hook about that one.
Not many people who have had this Sale team down as being ahead after 19 minutes. They're showing some real grit, some attacking intent as well. Toulon have got a game on their hands here.
There's Mike Haley. Takes the contact himself, the combination there of Van der Merwe and Jocelyn Suter. Well stolen there, that was Liam Gill. Here's Manoa, getting it back to Fernandez Lobe. Mathieu Bastereau.
Leave it 9. It's your own player.
That bounced off the back of the head there of Marcel van der Merwe. Taken by Will Addison.
Going back, it's coming back. You're absolutely offside against red. Ball kicked into it.
Toulon just looking a little bit devoid of ideas there. Tillis and Bernard not happy with each other, gesturing at each other as if to say, that's not what I called. There's a certain Matt Gitto on the bench today for Toulon. Back from injury, he'll really bring some structure and some organisation to this Toulon attacking team.
Get the shoulder up. Let's go.
Well, we have mentioned already the last time Sale were here 4 years ago when they lost by 62 points to 0. It's a very different Toulon vintage. That was the season when Toulon won their first European title. And it was, round 4 in mid-December when Sale came here. And at that point, Toulon had lost just twice all season. And 4 weeks on from that, or that same stage of the season, Toulon have been beaten 9 times. So this is a Toulon side who can be beaten, and they've lost here twice already. That was an unforced error in the midfield there from Sale. The ball lost forward. One of the two teams who have won here, Andy, your old team, or one of your old teams, Brive.
Well, certainly has been a few old teams. It was a great victory for Brive earlier in the season.
Well, the pass there from Brian Habana was needlessly extravagant, wasn't it? One-handed roll. Didn't need to do that.
Perhaps a sign of a team and a player a little bit low on confidence. Those things a couple of years ago would fly into hands and not be forward, and they'd go the length. You see that little knock on there from Sam James, just took his eye off the ball. Just watch this from Habana, carrying the ball in one hand.
Just said stability.
Sammy Mano's got fantastic ball skills. Simple things done well there. Simple 2v1. A little bit extravagant from Habana. He's looking up to the skies now, asking himself why he did it.
So Sale lead by 7 points to 5 through the opening quarter. Bear in mind, this is a Sale side who come here having lost their last 9 matches. Last time they won was in the Anglo-Welsh Cup. And they beat a very under-strength Wasps team.
Yeah, they certainly are pumped up for today. I spoke to Steve Diamond before the game. He was excited about seeing some of these young charges having a dig. Rob Webber certainly focused at scrum time.
November the 4th, the date of that last Sale victory. So the Sale scrum under pressure again. Phillips on there to the try scorer James. Here comes Addison drifting across field. There's a 2-on-1 there. Well, Lee Halfpenny getting the hand in. It was an intentional hand in there, and I think George Clancy may well go to his pocket here.
It's just a penalty.
It's a brilliantly executed first phase move there from Sale. Lovely ball from Sam James.
Let's listen to this. It could well be a yellow card for Lee Halfpenny.
It's a deliberate knock-on.
And if we consider the context of that, and we'll need to see it again, there's just a chance that might have prevented a try.
There we go, an outside break. Nonu slips, doesn't he? James O'Connor steps in. Not sure it's a deliberate knockdown, it's in the tackle.
He knows what he's doing though, doesn't he, Andy?
Yeah, he's making himself as big as possible in terms of his wingspan. He's not looking at the ball, he's actually looking at the man, but you can argue it both ways. George Clancy made a strong decision. And now Sale have a real opportunity, 5 metres out.
Growing in confidence all the time. They've gone short. Lawrence Pearce is the big battering ram. Well, at the crucial moment, the ball's gone forward.
Yeah, intricate little line-out play there. Obviously, some of the coaches have spotted a weakness in Toulon's defence at the front of a line-out. Unfortunately, a little knock-on from Lawrence Pearce. Toulon would have been barred up waiting for the drive. Thought they could perhaps catch Van der Merwe napping at the front of the line-out. Which gives up Toulon an opportunity now to clear their lines.
You do have to say, though, Andy, that despite the presence of all these Galacticos, I know the faces have changed, but the reputations are very much the same as they were 3 or 4 years ago. Huge box office names wearing red and black today. But this season, they haven't been the sum of the parts. Here's Sebastian Thiew's-Board. Good clearing kick there from the scrum half.
And obviously, with the changes in coaches, Bernard Laporte left at the end of last season, didn't he? Dominguez came in. He wasn't overly successful or particularly liked. And then Mike Ford has taken the reins, quickly ousted Diego Dominguez. A lot of change, and 14 players left at the end of last season too, so there are box office names, but it's that front five for me that's not strong enough for Toulon and not producing enough quality ball for the likes of Nonu, Habana, Bastereau, etc. in the back line.
That line out working well. Powerful run, he's still going inside the 22. There's Phillips on here to Lawrence Pearce. Liam Gill's got a hold of a leg. Phillips options both ways, he goes left. James, chip over the top, it's worked once. Well, needed a little lob wedge, and he used the 9-iron, didn't he?
Yeah, brilliant option it was, but just slightly overcooked. Look at the strength of Mark Jennings there, bouncing off 3 or 4 Toulon defenders, and then you just come back, short side, Sam James off his left, just a little bit too much. Charnley was nearly in, sniffing out his first try for Sale, hasn't scored since his changeover from Rugby League and Wigan Warriors. It's brilliant to see Sale really attacking and taking the game to Toulon.
So Gerardo, the France captain, finds the club captain, Laurent Vermeulen. Thiew's-Board. Well, we've got one more game in the Champions Cup to come later today. 5:15 kickoff down at Sandy Park. It's Exeter against Ulster. Ulster still in with a real chance. Exeter not out of it, of going through to the quarterfinals. That is on BT Sport 2. 5:15 kickoff time for that. You can catch up on all the highlights from this weekend. That's tonight at 7:45 on the same channel. So following on from that game at Sandy Park. And then rugby tonight, Wednesday, 8 o'clock, BT Sport 1. And very topically, we'll be hearing from Mike Ford and Richard Cockrell in that programme, just to see how Richard Cockrell has been settling down after his first week here at the Stade Mayol. So Sebastian Tillous-Ford has his hands on it. The carry from Van der Merwe. Manoa that time with the carry. It's all happening a little too slowly at the moment for Toulon.
Yeah, again, Bernard's not taking control at 10, and it's just going through the forwards. Not a massive amount of width to Toulon's game at the minute, so the fly half doesn't have too many options.
Well, they won here on New Year's Day against Racing 92, and it was a very stodgy performance then. And O'Connor, the ball being dislodged from his grasp, and defensively, since that early blemish, has been very solid from the men from the northwest.
No, it was knocked on into the 22 by you guys.
You know,
Yeah, they're certainly barring up Sale, aren't they, in defence? The DNA of Steve Diamond all over it. Real hearty performance so far. A couple of errors, handling errors in the back line, but Toulon have got a real battle on their hands at the minute. This young Sale team standing up to a huge challenge at the minute.
Jocelyn Asuta, one of the old boys from that first game in the Champions Cup 5 years or so ago. Girardo has it tucked under his left shoulder there at the back. You can just see him being guided by Tillous-Ford. Bastereau blasting his way through. Eventually held up though, ground to a halt.
Number 2, side entry.
The side entry from the Sale hooker, Rob Webber. What's the call here?
Well, interestingly enough, I can hear Richard Cockerell right on the sideline, right on the touchline. He's actually got his feet on the pitch as we speak. He's having a walk, he's calling the line out, he's telling them to go for the corner. It'd be great to pan in on him as a coach now. He's on the field of play, and you can see passionate about what he does. He'll have a real impact here for the rest of the season.
Yes, I wouldn't want to second guess Rugby Tonight on Wednesday, but I suspect when he's asked how he's settled in the first week, Richard Cockerell probably says he's feeling at home. He's certainly behaving as if he is. Van der Merwe that time. Here's Tillous-Ford. Liam Gill. Only Charles Olivon has scored more tries this season for Toulon than Liam Gill. Very prized asset. They pick up that time from Jocelyn Asuta. In the shadow of the Sale posts. Well, Sale have turned it. That is timely. Time to go wide. Here's Addison. Oh, and he lost it, but then the ball has gone forward. Living rather dangerously.
Well, it was on for Sale to break out their own 22. But there's the master of intercepts. Didn't quite get it this time. Did Brian Habana. And lucky for him, George Clancy thought he made a legitimate attempt just to catch the ball instead of blocking the pass. But a little bit of execution there from Sale. Real strength there from Lawrence Pearce to strip the ball. And then Dave Seymour does what he does well, gets the turnover. Watch this now, Habana just gets in the passing lane. One hand comes out, it's not a slap down. Already with Lee Halfpenny in the bin. Would have been interesting if George Clancy had seen that slightly differently.
Better on the last scrum, stability.
What do you make of Habana since he's been here? When he first signed on, he was the highest paid player in France who didn't do the kicking. He reputed €50,000 a month, which in rugby is big money. They scored just 2 tries this season. Has yet to really, I think, properly deliver.
Meanwhile, the Sale scrum certainly has delivered that. That is brilliant to see. Ross Harrison, Alani Alika and Rob Webber going straight through the Toulon forward pack there. Look how happy those Sale boys are. Van der Merwe not happy at all. It's a real statement of intent there from Sale though, isn't it?
Well, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We've only been playing half an hour, but if you're a follower of Sale, You can believe what you're seeing when you look at that scoreline, and they are good value for it. They bounce back from that early setback, the try from Ma Nonu, but in so many aspects of the game, they have been the best in this opening half hour. And as you can see there, this is a side who have lost their last 9 matches in all competitions, yet to get off the mark here in Europe, haven't won a European game for donkey's years, haven't won away from home in the Champions Cup for even longer.
Yeah, they certainly are showing everything that Steve Diamond would have wanted them to. A young experimental team have gone heavily on the English qualified player route. 20 out of the 23-man squad today are English qualified, so they're showing real attitude, real purpose and intent, especially at scrum time. It was Del Boub in the last scrum, were absolutely destroyed by Alika. Steve Diamond will be a pretty happy man at the minute.
It's Laurent Del Boub actually only having his second start for Toulon today. And who last season was Oyonnax, who were relegated.
It's not a bad upgrade, that, is it? Oyonnax to Toulon.
Yeah, he started off at Montauban. They're a side who used to play in this competition but have suffered badly, although it's good to see any followers of French rugby will be happy to see Montauban back towards the top of the second division in France.
Move it out here? Yeah, okay.
But also it goes to show how many problems Toulon have had in the front row in recent times.
Well, I said it in the week. Actually, they haven't replaced the likes of Andrew Sheridan, Carl Heyman, from that treble-winning team. They won 3 consecutive European Champions Cups, didn't they? And then you put behind those 3, you have likes of Bakis Botha and Ali Williams, and that tight 5 they've got now just isn't the same quality. They've got the world stars in the back line like Nonu, Halfpenny, Habana, Matt Giteau to come back, but again at scrum time, hence bringing Richard Cockrell in. The detail that he brings should make a huge amount of difference.
And a certain JW. Interesting comment from Mourad Boujalal this week when he was talking about the expectations from the Toulon followers, and he just made the point, this is not Toulon as they were when Johnny Wilkinson was playing.
He's a pretty difficult man to replace, is Sir Johnny, isn't he? When Matt Giteau plays 10, there's certainly a different proposition, the control that Giteau brings. We've certainly missed him.
So Toulon get the penalty into the hands of the current wearer of the 10 jersey. He's worn it in every game since Francois Tranduc. Well, there's a young man there. Interesting story, this fella. His name is Jacob Ransom, who was flown over with his family here by Mourad Boujalal, the Toulon president. He actually lives in Manchester, but he's a Toulon fan and a Sale fan. And when the reverse fixture happened, young Jacob there took his seat within the group of Toulon fans, and they took him to their heart, so much so that Monsieur Boujalal said he must come to the reverse fixture down at our place. And they flew him along with his family, and they presented him here to the team and the crowd before the game. So that youngster there wasn't just a random shot, that was young Jacob Ransom. Toulon mascot for the day, Sale fan from Manchester. Hughes board. Through goes Pastoral. Takes 2 to get him down. In the end, partially falls over his own feet. Hughes board. Turning around, but look here, the defence from Sale. Every man is working at 100%. 3 minutes to go to half-time. Sale leading by 2 points. It's almost beyond their wildest dreams. The former Shark goes forward there. That was Fernandez Lobe. Hughes board. Bernard looks at the cross kick. It's woefully executed. Mike Haley, very comfortable under the high ball. But how many times, whether it's Pierre Bernard or Ma Nonu, have Toulon kicked away good attacking ball in this opening 40?
Yeah, it's really poor from Bernard there. Nonu's kicked a couple away, but it just goes to show that there must be some sort of breakdown in communication. Just error after error, summed up there by Sebastian Toulouse-Bourg. He's a quality operator to just make a simple mistake like that. He started 9 at all 3 European Champions Cup finals that Toulon have won, so it's not as if he's an average player.
Not trying to touch it.
You've got to credit Sale here. Their defensive effort up and off it has been fantastic. They really are pumped up for this.
And thus far, Toulon are flopping their lines, aren't they?
They are. I think we could be ending up seeing Guiteau coming on at half-time, so they need some control.
Last time,
Bernard is not offering that at 10 at the minute. And a couple of things they've done, they've had Bastereau on the charge a couple of times and Nonu as well, but just the detail of their attack at the minute, they look a little bit lost. Certainly something that Matt Guiteau can bring to the party, the control, the understanding of how to run a game as well. Wouldn't surprise me if we see him at half-time.
Yes, before you get too excited up there in the surrounds of Sale and Eccles. Guiteau waiting to come on, Joshua Tuasova waiting to come on, Juan Smith also on the bench. We've got World Cup winners, we've got Olympic gold medalists, we've got Matt Guiteau, more than 100 appearances for the Wallabies, so plenty of talent and power being held back by Mike Forward. Oh, Adogwu almost got in there. Now it's Toulon who are living dangerously. Yes, that's how far it was away. Paolo Adogwu, the teenager, just 19.
Yeah, that's nearly a brilliant read, isn't it? Vermeulen with the long ball. Adogwu so close. I think Habana's still got him covered. Habana, the ultimate interceptor. Saw Adogwu coming for it. He says he's that close, doesn't he? Just look at the body language of some of the Toulon players there. Kind of walking around the field, just expecting it to happen. Bastereau's got his hands on his hips. Doesn't seem to be a lot of chat from the back line at all. Sale really are pumped up for this and enjoying it.
Yes, it's Magnus Lund who's down getting some treatment for Sale.
He's a big dumper truck, that fella, isn't he? I can say that stood up here. He's ran at me a few times in my career, didn't enjoy one of them.
So Magnus Lund, 10 caps for England, going back a few seasons now. Veteran of the 2010 European final when he was playing for Biarritz. And Toulouse are the champions, the all-French final up at the Stade de France. Well, certainly the last play of the first half. Sale leading by 7 points to 5. Fans in, among other places, Llanelli and West Wales, licking their lips. The Scarlet's still alive. Yebana missing out Bastereau. Here's Nonu missing out Halfpenny. O'Connor with some space. He's got Nonu inside if he can find him. Again, the boot goes to ball. And Addison it is who hacks it into touch. The referee blows his whistle for half-time. The Toulon fans are not happy. But that, by some margin, the best 40 minutes we've seen from Sale all season. They've dug deep. They're coming here, playing for pride, not much else. But look at that scoreline. Sale leading Toulon by... Toulon champions in 2013, 2014 and 2015. They reached the quarter-finals when they were beaten in 2011 and 2016. They have yet to be eliminated at this level in the pool phase. As things stand though, well, they're hanging by a thread. And Mike Ford has resisted the temptation to make any alterations at half-time. Plenty of power lurking in the wings, the likes of Amuka Gorgodze. We'll almost certainly see him come into the second row. And I guess the real joker card, if you like, that will be Matt Guiteau, when he makes what will be his first appearance for Toulon all season.
Yeah, really surprised they didn't make that change at half-time, but credit to Sale. What a first-half performance that was. especially defensively, right in this game now.
Nonu, the try scorer for Toulon, seems a long time ago now. Fernandez Lobe. Look at the line speed there from Sale. They've got to maintain that for the next 40 minutes. James O'Connor. O'Connor lasting out. There was some doubt whether he would actually start the match. Woke up feeling a little unwell. The offload there to Guirado. Guirado inside to the Sale 22. Here's Tiusbourg getting it away to Bernard. There's Nonu, Bastereau. Will Addison hanging on, so too Mike Phillips. Yet Bastereau makes 5 metres, perhaps he shouldn't have done. They're inside the Sale 22. Sale doing well to slow up the ball there. Manoa. There's Bernard. The dummy from the fly half.
Advantage.
The arm is out from George Clancy, playing an advantage. That is Jocelyn Asuta. But we're going to come back for the penalty. Sale guilty of coming offside.
Yeah, we had Lawrence in studio talking at half-time about just doing simple things, giving it to Bastereau, giving it to Nonu, pumping the legs, getting some go forward, and that's what Toulon have done in this opening phase of play in the second half. I'm sure Mike Ford and Richard Cockrell would have spoken to their charges to say get back to some basic rugby, run hard, run straight. No better man in this Toulon team than Bastereau to run straight. Bernard makes a slight outside break here, and they just looked a little bit more organised, didn't they? Suter with a big ball carry. I'm sure the message from the coaches at half-time, as Lawrence spoke about back in studio, keep it simple, run hard.
Gilles Panzani wearing the blue bib in the background, who brought on the kicking tee, did that job for years here for Johnny Wilkinson. Was to Johnny Wilkinson what Debbie McGee was to Paul Daniels, the magician's assistant. Penny to take Toulon back into the lead. Against the backcloth of a brilliant blue sky. That's exactly what Lee Halfpenny's done.
Yeah, after missing his first conversion, which was Lee Halfpenny standards relatively easy, there was no chance he was missing that. You see the slight change in tactics from Toulon, a bit more direct in the opening phase of this first half.
Dwayne Vermeulen. I reckon at some point we're going to see images of Mourad Bougelal, the president of Toulon, bouncing up and down on the touchline. He won't be entirely happy with what he's seeing at the moment. He really is a club president with a difference. Can you imagine a chief executive in the Aviva Premiership, or indeed any other president in French rugby, being down here shortly after 11 o'clock this morning just to watch Lee Halfpenny practicing his kicking? Good carry there from Mike Haley. On here to Webber. The crowd think that ball might have gone forward. George Clancy says no. Looks like Dwayne Vermeulen is down, so Toulon are a little stretched at the moment. There's a little poke through from James. Across comes Bernard. Bernard eventually grounds it. It is Dwayne Vermeulen who's hurt.
Yeah, the Toulon crowd really not happy there. They thought Mike Haley had knocked it on in the tackle, but what a break that was from Mike Haley. He's beaten the second most defenders in the Champions Cup this season. Fantastic attacking fullback. Unfortunately, the kick just went too far and allowed Toulon to release some pressure.
A chance there for Josh Charney to have a run. Ran into a red and black brick wall. Addison. James with a little kick through there off the right foot. Once again, intelligent game management from Sale.
Yeah, been really impressed with Sam James stepping into the 10 shirt this season. Obviously Cipriani left last year and there has been issues with McGinty and Mugford at 10, but Sam James really mixing the game up well. Nice little probing kick there, keeping the pressure on Toulon. And these young Sale charges are having the game of their lives at the minute, some of them.
Guirado still looking a little bit relaxed. Wink and a smile. clearance kick, and that rather catching out Odogwu. He wasn't standing deep enough.
Yeah, brilliant clearance there from Toulouse. Fully 70 metres. A huge pressure reliever there. Good detail on the line out. The exit strategy. Pass back to Toulouse. Sorry. And Odogwu just caught himself a little bit too flat.
There's a few things more embarrassing for a wing in defence: to see the ball flying over your shoulder and bouncing and going into touch. So Webber, good take there from Magnus Lund. Good carry there from Mark Jennings. Became the youngest ever professional at Sale. He signed professional forms at the age of 16. Addison looks to change direction. I don't think he quite got hold of enough of that. Here's Lee Halfpenny. Follow-up tackle there from Magnus Lund. All the Toulon points in the reverse fixture. But the AJ Bell was scored when Magnus Lund was in the sin bin. So he's a player who will feel he maybe has a point to prove here. Here goes Pierre Bernard. Meandering run. Lani Aulika being told to leave it by George Clancy, but he couldn't help himself.
Again there, Bernard looked a little bit lost, didn't know what option to take, so ran back to his forwards. And for me, it's really time for Matt Giteau to come on and change the shape of the game.
Do you think there are language problems, communication problems between Bernard and the centres?
Well, certainly not Matthew Bastareaud, but Nonu at 12, there could be an issue there. Maybe it's a confidence thing as well. Interestingly enough, Toulon haven't won a game this year when they've been behind at half-time, so if they want to stay in this competition, they have to change that. Certainly ahead now. And
yes, there certainly won't be communication problems between scrum half and fly half. Sebastian Thiou-Sport, well, the last time he scored a try, Thiou-Sport, at this level was when he was playing at Castres. We're going back 5 years. And his fly half that day was Pierre Bernard. Here goes Bastareaud, getting some space, getting through the first tackle, creating some momentum. Now perhaps a chance. Nonu drifting across field. Odogwu, with a bit of help from his friends, gets him down. It's a penalty to Sale. Another minor victory.
Yeah, real rearguard action there in defence. The effort and the attitude of this Sale team at the minute, in defence especially, is absolutely unbelievable. Richard Cockrell there looking very French. Or perhaps understanding what the penalty was given for. I think it was Lee Halfpenny that came in at the side trying to clear out the Sale defenders, but talk about attitude. The Sale team at the minute are showing an abundance of high quality defence, effort. Look at the hit there going in from Will Addison. Him and Mark Jennings in the centres, up against two of the biggest centres in world rugby, and Nonu and Bastareaud. They've really stood up today. See, it was given against Halfpenny, didn't quite get back through the gate. Going in at the side, and Sale clear their lines.
Yes, poor old Cockers. Same frustrations, different venue. There it is for Mike Phillips. On to Lund. Big responsibility on those two players, Phillips and Lund. Having played here in the French League, they know all about the challenges of playing at the Stade Mayol. Vast experience as well in both club and international rugby. Addison with the kick, back goes Sabana, forcing Halfpenny to turn. Halfpenny in the end doing rather well there. Hughes board goes aerial, straight into touch, and once again Sale chasing everything and getting their reward.
Say again?
As I said, the effort's been unbelievable from Sale so far. It was Odogwu, and then he makes a tackle on Halfpenny. Now here's the change.
Yes, you called it, Andy. First time since that horrific injury, playing for the Wallabies against the All Blacks at the start of the Rugby Championship. Initially it was predicted he wouldn't come back until February, but needs must. He's been rushed back and they need a massive performance from him in the last half hour.
Yeah, he'll certainly bring some control. I know he was back in Australia getting a load of treatment and working exceptionally hard on his recovery. Brilliant to see him back on the field. He's a world-class player, is Matt Giteau. Brilliant bloke as well. And he'll add some real control to this Toulon team. He's a folk hero here as well. The fans absolutely adore him.
Breaks in the leg and the ankle. Just 10 minutes into that opening game in the Rugby Championship.
First half. I'll come this side again.
Sort of injury, which for a player at his stage of career might have ended it, but not so Matt Giteau.
He may struggle to play for Australia again, but will certainly have a massive impact still here at Toulon.
Crouch!
He's been an unbelievable player for many years, and I think he's still got a little bit of life left in the old doglet.
He has more than a century of caps, and if you think that between earning the 92nd and the 93rd he had more than 4 years of absence. James feeding it on there to Jennings. That's Addison.
Clear release.
They're up to the 22 again.
Yeah, legally.
Toulon leading by a single point. But what an effort it's been by Sale. Odogwu. Odogwu getting isolated, hanging on to it and penalised.
Here's that man, Dwayne Vermeulen, the skipper again. Second most turnovers in the top 14 this season, another one there. Odogwu was on his own, it was a set play, wasn't it? Short ball to Will Addison up the middle, and then Odogwu going back to the blind side. Unfortunately, he was a little bit too quick for his forward pack, and Vermeulen got himself over the ball and won the penalty.
It's good to be on the strong, okay?
Leave halfpenny. I missed virtually all of last season after that terrible injury picked up in that World Cup warm-up game. And after those 2 late missed penalties, certainly one of them a bad one at Parker Scarlets in round 4.
Over in 15.
He will feel personal responsibility if Toulon do not emerge into the last 8 at the end of next weekend. Sale penalised. Toulon will feel that the victory alone may not be good enough today. They need the full 5 points. 27.5 minutes to go. They have one try. They do just have a 1-point lead.
Not rolling. Here's a mark.
Yeah, penalty there going against Mark Jennings for not rolling away. He's made some tackles as Mark Jennings today put his body on the line.
Yeah, he's up to you.
Some big ball carries as well.
Okay. To me as well, huh?
Yes, to give this performance by Sale some sort of perspective, when Saracens came here at the start of the season and won, it was the first time that they'd lost at home in the Premier competition in Europe. And as you saw there, another change being made. Mamuka Gorgodze, who adds a bit of everything really. He moves into the second row. Jocelyn Asuta, he takes his leave, and there are more waiting in the wings.
Well, if you want some physicality, Mamuka Gorgodze is your man, isn't he? Charge onto the field there, looks absolutely pumped up.
7 is in.
Dropped last week after their performance away at Clermont.
Delbourbe just trying to feed the ball back there to his captain. Sale doing a good job here. There is Gorgodze offloading it. Habana coming in, they're 6 metres out. Tiu's forward, the red and black jerseys swarming. An important intervention there from Sale, and they've turned it. That's outstanding.
Stay, wait.
Mike Phillips, big deep breath, pumps it into touch. Lack of precision again from Toulon.
Well, you talk about the lack of precision from Toulon, but that's symptomatic of the game and how Sale have defended. They piled bodies into that driving maul defensively, didn't they? And just the effort that they're putting in. Dogu with a tackle on Havana. James in there at the breakdown. Magnus Lund's been everywhere. This is brilliant from Sale.
And now they get the penalty.
Number 23.
Obstruction in the line out, and it's Gorgodze who's penalised.
Number 23. He just goes right in the side.
There you heard George Clancy there saying penalty against number 23, which is Gorgodze. We're offside, and Sale are just getting energised by their defensive performance, aren't they?
Yes, Toulon would have been happy to see George Clancy at the start of the day. The last 6 matches he's taken charge of in the Champions Cup involving Toulon have all been won by the 3 times champions.
At the line out.
Another change being made. This is on the tight head side of the front row. Livan Shilashava will replace Marcel van der Merwe. There goes the one-time cheater, more recently a bull. Real production line, Bloemfontein, when it comes to big muscly props. Bryn Evans rising high that time, fed out by Lawrence Pearce. Here goes James, Adogwu coming off his wing. That was quite a pirouette. Robin Cousins would have been proud of that one. Turned over though, T.U. Ford emerges with it. Here's Mar Nonu, getting through 2 tackles. T.U. Ford, Gitto, Gorgodze. Look at Lawrence Pearce in the thick of it. He's very happy to go toe-to-toe with Gorgodze, is Lawrence Pearce. That's the new man. Shilashava. Gitto. Manoa. Well, Rob Webber certainly felt that. Took a while to get back to his feet, the hooker. Gorgodze again. Straight to Sam James that time, who did well to stand up. Well, that was high from Olika on Liam Gill. And, well, just a penalty, says George Clancy. And given the current redefinitions of the tackle laws, that could have gone another way.
Yeah, it certainly could. I was actually talking to George Clancy before the game in a restaurant, and he said before, since the new directives have come out from World Rugby, he actually hasn't issued a yellow or a red card for this tackle law. Just got to have a bit of empathy, and you saw it then. He said you started low but went high, just a penalty. Good refereeing. Alika knew he'd made a mistake. Let's crack on with the game. I like that from George Clancy.
I suspect Helani Alika would agree with you. Toulon making another alteration. You can see they're appearing from the top of the screen. Perhaps the most destructive wing in world rugby. Olympic gold medalist Joshua Tuasova has been a revelation since he first arrived in this postcode a little more than 3 years ago.
He's a fantastic athlete, obviously Olympic gold medal winner for Fiji in the sevens in the summer. Devastating finisher. Just drifting off. Just about to say, just drifting off Matt Gitto's shoulder there.
Sale just overstepping the mark in the line out. Interference, says George Clancy.
Okay. It's a line out infringement, so you can just have the line out. Yeah.
So George Clancy just pointing out there, because it's a line out infringement, you can just have the line out. We don't have to go through the process of actually popping it into touch. Bryn Evans, great steal from the All Black. He has been one of the standout players for Sale this season. Just Josh Beaumont, the club captain, has more game time. In fact, Bryn Evans may well have overtaken him over the course of this afternoon. Mike Phillips getting it away. First touch for Joshua Tuasova. On here to Halfpenny. Burst of pace. Change of direction from Brian Havana. Taking play inside the 22. It's squirted forward. Sale have it. Good pick up there from Evans. Pearce outside him. Gitto comes across to make the tackle. There is certainly a sense that the momentum, the tempo of this match has cranked up a couple of notches over the course of the last 5 minutes. Haley, Addison, Adogwu, held up by Nonu. Sale still in their own half. Here's Magnus Lund. The Norseman up against the Georgian. Gorgodze has to try and get himself out of there somehow. Addison. Here's Pearce. Another good carry from Lawrence Pearce. Stolen though by Toulon. They have it. Here's Tius Ford. On from Girardo. Bastereau. The kick into space. A bit of a groan from the crowd. Another perhaps wasted opportunity. Oh, and then Haley's charged down. And could this be it for Habana? Adogwu comes across. Habana pounces on it. The try is awarded. Well, it was a comedy of errors.
Yeah, it certainly was. A kick from Mathieu Bastereau. Looked for all money. Had it covered, and I think it was Sam James with a charge down kick. Habana doing what Habana does so well, pressurising kickers. You just seen there, putting the effort in. It's actually Mike Haley, isn't it? Takes way too long. Habana with a charge down, and then Adogwu trying to chase back, just loses his footing slightly. The ball was spinning away from him. There's the issue. Mike Haley just took forever to try and clear that. And Toulon get a little bit of luck they need. The effort of these Sale boys has been absolutely huge.
Well, we've been praising Mike Haley all afternoon, but that was a horrible moment for the fullback.
Yeah, it certainly was. And then, classically, the spin of the rugby ball, the way it bounces, just evaded Adogwu. And the arch poacher, Brian Habana, created the try with the charge down, scored it himself. And when you're not performing well, as Toulon aren't performing well, they get a little bit of luck.
Yeah.
Well, you have to say Toulon are getting the breaks this weekend.
Where's your captain?
Starting with the result on the opening night of the weekend in round 5. Montpellier getting hammered in Dublin. That helped their cause in terms of that race for a best runners-up spot. Saracens scoring that late try over at Parker Scarlets has done Toulon a big favour. And now, dare I say, Mike Haley the latest. Well, I can tell you that Paolo Adogwu has gone off. It's a blood alteration.
Yeah. What number?
And just coming on with them is Dan Monkford. So this will cause 1 or 2 alterations. Monkford
What number's coming
slipping
off?
to outside centre.
There's no captain's referrals.
But it's going to be a huge test of character the last 20 minutes for Sale. Did so well in the opening hour. So as things stand, Toulon leading here by 15 points to 7. And among our guests down at Sandy Park for our final game of the day, Ruben Pinar injured at the moment, but Ulster's loss is our game. Exeter against Ulster, live on BT Sport 2 from 5:15, and that, again, the result of that will have a major impact on the quarter-final aspirations of Toulon. You can catch up with all the highlights from the 10 round or the 10 games within the Champions Cup from this 5th round. Straight after that, that's at 7:45 on BT Sport 2. And then on Wednesday, Rugby Tonight, when we'll be hearing from, among others, Mike Ford and Richard Cockerell. Richard Cockerell having arrived in these parts on Wednesday. And he certainly had his frustrations over the course of the last hour, but things may be taking a turn for the better where Toulon are concerned. Sale making a couple of alterations, which two of the youngsters are on. John Mills goes off. George Knott, junior world champion from last summer, he's on. That's he on the right. And wearing 20, Ben Curry, one half of the Twins. The other half, Tom Curry, is still on the bench. And also Toulon have made a switch. That's on the loosehead side of the front row. Laurendale Bulb has gone off. He's been replaced by Florian Frezier. You can see alongside Guillaume Gerardo. Sale get the penalty.
The pressure comes on before the ball. Too much pressure.
Real interesting decision now for Sale.
No, the pressure comes.
8 points down. Relatively kickable penalty. As you can see, Sam James stepping up, putting it in the corner here, trying to turn more pressure on Toulon. You see Ben Curry on the edge of the scrum there. Ross Harrison at loose head prop. Some real quality young talent in this Sale team. Really taking it to the star-studded Toulon team at the minute.
So it's Bryn Evans again in the line out. Being defended well at the moment by Toulon. Can Sale get a bit of go forward? Joining in, there's Mark Jennings. It's splintered and they're over the line. What a score for Sale. They will not lie down. Rob Webber getting the slaps across the back.
What a drive that is from the forward pack. One of Sale's strengths for many years. Really well organised. It's now Dan Bray taking charge of that area of the game for them. They've been brilliant at the breakdown today as well, and you see the Toulon pack get absolutely splintered there. And Rob Webber makes his way through. Brilliant response from Sale. Can't speak highly enough of how they're performing today. Coming down to this cauldron that is the Stade Mayol with a young team. They are performing beyond any expectations of a lot of people outside of Sale. And Steve Diamond will probably be saying that's what I expect every week.
Certainly not playing like a side who've lost their last 9 matches. Will Addison to narrow the deficit to a single point. Oh, he's pushed it. So it's 15-12. Meanwhile, Toulon have brought on another member of the Galacticos, Juan Smith, World Cup winner from a decade ago. Steve Diamond. Well, there were certainly 1 or 2 green shoots appearing at Harlequins last week where they were unlucky to lose. Not quite coming into full bloom here for Sale, but who knows? They're still very much in this contest. 15 minutes remain.
Yeah, sometimes coaches talk about attitude and application. You look at the bench that Toulon have emptied, likes of Juan Smith and Tuisova and Matt Gitto, Gorgodzi, some real quality there, some seasoned professionals, and Sale's youngsters are really standing up to every challenge that's been put in front of them so far.
And those images were quite telling, weren't they? Toulon players turning to Matt Gitto for instruction and advice, including the France captain Guillaume Gerardo. Tius Ford has his hands on it. Well picked up by Gerardo around his bootlaces. Holding on though, there was Mark Jennings. Fernandez Lobe, the former Shark. Juan Smith, the man who retired 4 years ago. One of the great comeback stories in rugby, Juan Smith. Tuisova gets a run. Going straight through Dan Mugford. Tuisova wants it again. Look at that. The sheer power.
Leave it now, leave it.
Gorgodze. It is relentless, isn't it, Toulon? Gitto. The dummy inside. Tius Ford. Gorgodze.
Advantage.
The arm is out from George Clancy. It's a penalty.
Stop.
Well, this is an interesting call, this, isn't it? They lead by 3. They have 2 tries. They know that they really need the full 5. There's plenty of time on the clock. Will they back themselves and go for the corner? Or will they take the pragmatic selection and go for 3?
Control your players, Captain.
I was just watching Richard Cockrell on the sideline. He's telling him to go to the corner. He's on the pitch again. Loving his passion. He wants to be involved in this. And the fourth official, is just telling him, get back in your corner, get off the pitch. There's big hits going in. Arlika there doesn't make any effort to roll away. It's the full force of his 19 stone into Gorgodze, and interestingly enough, Toulon are taking the scrum.
Well, that's perhaps the choice we didn't consider.
Tuisova looks hungry though, doesn't he? He's been out for 3 months with his ankle injury.
Well, there's the president, Murad Boujalal. What a menacing looking touchline, isn't it, with Richard Cockrell prowling up and down the touchline. Murad Boujalal has now joined him.
Cockers knows who pays the bills, doesn't he? Straight over to speak to him on the touchline.
A real test of that front 5 for Sale. Tiu's board. Tuisova coming off the wing. The scrum half's got it again. Joan Smith trying to knock some holes in that Sale defence, but they're mere perforations. The ball being held in the tackle, and what another defensive effort from the men from the northwest.
Well, I spoke about it earlier. Dan Braid on the coaching panel now at Sale. That's got him written all over it. They're competing at the breakdown. And what I love there, absolutely love it, all 15 Sale players that are on the field ran in to congratulate their men for winning the penalty, getting the turnover. And this Sale team today has got a massive amount of attitude about it. Brilliant to see.
Absolutely not. You're good.
Massive hits coming in there. It's Jennings, isn't it? Jennings has had a huge game. Look how happy he is there with that turnover. Massive hits going in from the Sale boys. Mark Jennings leading that charge. Steve Diamond, after 68 minutes, can be very proud of his troops. Can they go on and get what will be a very famous victory?
James. Addison, the captain. So Harper Gap gets it away. They're into Toulon territory. That's Macford. Webber, most recent try scorer, straight into Joan Smith. Smith playing for the first time since that defeat here against Brive. That was over the first weekend in September, so they do have fresh legs out here, Toulon. But they also have 1 or 2 rusty legs with the likes of Gitto and Smith and Tuisova, who haven't played competitively for weeks and weeks.
Number 9.
I think Sale are really unlucky there. Brilliant break on the outside there from Addison. Cheeky offload as well.
Okay, time off.
Look at this offload. Underneath.
Come on.
And out the side. Here, for me, George Clancy calls the ball a little bit too early. You can see it's going down. Let the play unfold. The ball's on the deck there. Tell the tacklers to roll away. Should have been Sale ball. Unfortunately, he just called maul. Too early for me, George Clancy. He's had a good game though.
2 more changes have been made by Sale. Alika has been replaced by Kieran Longbottom. Also on the second of the Curry brothers, Tom. He has replaced Lawrence Pearce. And Pearce, well, if we consider that he hasn't been in the starting lineup in a major game since the opening night of the season, he has left quite an impression.
Yeah, he certainly has. Jonathan Mills as well in the second row had a huge game.
Penalty to Toulon. Jonathan Pelissier having just come on for Sebastien Tiu's board. 15 points to 12. Toulon lead. But compare this performance from Sale from the last time they were here. More than 4 years ago. 9 tries. 62 points to 0. This is a Sale side who have lost their last 9, remember. Excellent kick from Halfpenny.
Chili Chubb has made a massive difference in the scrum since he's come on. Just watch this there. Not sure whether it's too legal. He actually pops up first, but the power of the scrum. You can see there Richard Cockrell on the field again, just relentless, barking out instructions. He's fluent in French as well, which will help Mike Ford out.
Yes, he had a couple of seasons at Clermont-Auvergne towards the end of his playing career. The ball crabbing sideways at the moment. It's rediscovered its bearings now. There's Guirado. And Sale get the pudding. Quite brilliant work there from Ben Curry.
Fantastic defence again. I've mentioned it all afternoon, really, haven't I? The effort that these Sale boys are putting in. Ben Curry off the bench, 18 years of age he is, mixing it with the big boys of Toulon. See him there. George Knott in the mix as well. An unbelievable performance here from Sale so far.
So the final 8 minutes, as things stand, Toulon would end the day on 14 points, and well, looking at what may happen next weekend, you have to think that with only 14 points, Toulon know that they would have to go to Allianz Park and get a result against Saracens. You can watch that game on BT Sport. 3:15 kickoff next Saturday. It is a clash of the giants, but Toulon will have to be better than they've been today, and they have yet to close things out at the Stade Mayol.
Well, you can hear the whistles, can't you, from the crowd? They're not happy. Not sure whether it's at the referee, George Clancy. They're certainly not happy with their team. It's not been a sparkling performance at all by Toulon. They look nervous. There's been no leadership at times, and trying to scrape to this victory, aren't they? But Sale doing everything they can to get something out of this game and maybe even win it.
Again, palm back by Evans. He's had a huge game. Mark Jennings, a rare start for him, has really impressed too. I think the likes of Will Addison and Mark Jennings can't have had that much sleep last night at the prospect of facing Mathieu Bastereau and Ma Nonu. Magnus Lund, and the pass was forward.
They're really unlucky there for Sale. Some good shape on their attacking game.
Okay, I didn't see that.
Paul Deacon has been running their attack now for a while. Look really well organised, Sale. Really impressed with their effort. Unfortunately, Magnus Lund just right in front of Sam James there.
Oh, it's okay, play on.
Slight forward pass. The application from the Sale team's been huge today, hasn't it?
Back here, sorry. Come on, let's go.
We've talked a lot about the head-to-heads today. Another one to mention, of course, is Mike Ford against Steve Diamond, former colleagues from their days at Saracens. An experience which, by all accounts, also made them former friends.
Yeah, I don't think there's not much love lost between the two of them, is there? Steve Diamond, speaking to him before the game, really pumped up for this, got his players going. There's a bit of history between them. Mike Ford's got a bit of history between a few coaches, hasn't he?
I think it'd be fair to say that Mike Ford has rather developed a habit of stepping into the breach when his boss is sacked. Happened at Saracens, happened at Bath, and of course now at Toulon.
Stay down, leave it, right, leave it.
Pelissier, halfpenny, a step, just getting through the tackle of Addison, but there were Sale supporting players. No advantage, says George Clancy.
It's absolutely brilliant there from Tom Curry off the side of that scrum. Made the tackle, got back to his feet, got over the ball. Unfortunately for him, Saylor giving a penalty away at the scrum. So the penalty that he would have won his team.
Yeah, sure.
Was null and void, and now Lee Halfpenny will kick to the corner. And what a kick that is.
That was quite outstanding. Dan Mugford at full stretch. He's not the biggest man in professional rugby, Dan Mugford. But that was perfect.
Yeah, right on the money there from Lee Halfpenny.
So Neil Briggs is on. The man who made his debut for Sale Sharks 12 years ago, now in his second stint at the club. Also the alteration on the loosehead side. James Flynn on for Ross Harrison. And the decision to go for the corner here, that is the acknowledgement that Toulon realise that 4 points really isn't enough. They want 5, they need 5, they need 4 tries. They've yet to get their third. 5 metres away, the bodies are joining it. Marnonu now being sent back by Pelissier. For Merlin standing off, so too Gorgodza. Well, it was meant for Merlin. Taken by Gorgodza. Here goes Girardo, another powerful ball carrier. Huge collision. The carry there from Juan Smith. 5 metres out, Pelissier, Gorgodza. The power game again from Toulon. Penalty advantage being played. Well, is there going to be a sanction here? It's going to be worth a listen.
What have you seen?
Got the 18 yellow with a no arms tackle.
Okay.
We need to check.
And it's Kieran Longbottom who
Simon,
has
did
been
you hear that?
identified.
If you go back now, please.
Yeah, I think it's for the tackle on Girardo.
Okay.
Clancy called it at the time a rugby incident, I think. Girardo ends up going head over heels in the air, but TMO, Simon McDowell's going to have a look at it.
Yes, the referee also has the benefit of having a big screen in that corner of the pitch.
For me, there's nothing in that because he actually tries to wrap his arms. There's the force. Where Girardo goes, he ends up in the air. Watch his arms. He's trying to wrap his arms around.
Yeah, okay, so I can see him going low there, Simon.
Yes.
And it's caused the player to somersault over.
See his left arm trying to get round as well.
I can't make out the number, Simon, from here.
Number 18.
Number 18, and that looks like a dangerous tackle for me. It's going to be a yellow card.
I agree.
That's one of the questions.
Number 18!
Did Girardo actually jump into the tackle?
No, sorry, just show it to me again, Simon. Just stop, just back a step. Just show it to me
Yeah,
one
he's
more
thinking
time,
about
Simon.
a yellow card here, and he wants to have another check because Girardo jumps into the tackle for me. And George Clancy's initial reaction, it's a rugby incident, is right. He makes the attempt to wrap the arm.
Number 18! 18!
It is a yellow card. This could prove to be another telling incident. Sale down to 14. We've still got 4 minutes on the clock.
Yeah. Scrum over here.
As I said earlier, I spoke to George Clancy in a restaurant before the game, and he said he hadn't given a yellow card or a red for anything to do with the new tackle directives. That's now changed. Not sure I 100% agree with it, but
I do once remember seeing Toulon
Time off, please.
score 2 tries in the last 2 minutes here in a European Challenge Cup game against Lyon.
Sorry,
So
no.
they can do it.
Yeah.
It goes
Yeah.
without saying they
Yeah,
have
we'll
to
make first row.
get the first of these tries
You bring him
from
back
this
on
incident,
that, they need a...
from this bit of field position.
Okay. Who's
So
coming off?
Helani Alika is going to come back on. Off goes Dan Mugford.
Hang on.
Steve Diamond just giving a final
Sorry, guys,
instruction
just have
to
wait
Helani
here. I have to
Alika.
go to the side and sort this out.
A few words of wisdom.
Who's coming off? Okay, the player's gone off already.
George Clancy walking around talking to himself, wondering who's gone off. Dan Mugford's already gone off. Alika didn't look too keen to get back on. He's probably stiffened up a bit, sat down for a while, put in a big shift, didn't he, Helani Alika? Ex-London Irish boy.
He's one of the ever-presents this season. Lots of game time, perhaps too much for a tight head, really.
Brilliant signing for Sale there, that is. Stealing him from London Irish when they got relegated last year.
So there's the put in from Pelissier. Being controlled by Famula. Pelissier standing off. Pelissier goes himself. That is the third try. That is the match wrapped up. But Toulon know just how important that fourth try could be if they can get it.
In reality now, if you're Lee Halfpenny, why do you even need to take the conversion? Drop a goal, make it really quick. You know you've got to get 4 tries to have a chance to qualify. The conversion makes no real difference.
Well, it's interesting because Gilles Panzani, well, you can see Murad Boujela clearly agrees with you. Gilles Panzani went out there with a kicking tee under the instruction of Lee Halfpenny, who has slotted it, but you're absolutely right. Seconds wasted there. And Murad Boujela appears to be fully aware of that.
You just hope for Sale's sake now that they don't leak another try. They've been monumental, have Sale today. A lot of youngsters we spoke about before the game in this Sale team, especially the back line. A lot of English qualified players as well. They've been brilliant.
Toulon have to gain possession. They haven't done it. It was Flynn who fed it back to Alika. Here's Sam James. 2.5 minutes to go. Toulon are working on the basis that unless they can get that fourth try, they will have to go to North London next week and beat Saracens if they are to remain in the Champions Cup. 16 could prove to be the magic number. As things stand, though, they've only got 14 now. They're off and running through Brian Habana. Here goes Marnonu. The tackle there a little high on the All Black. Pelissier. They're still stuck back in their own 22, Toulon. The last 2 minutes of the match. But you have to admire the line speed here of Sale. I fear they're going to go home with nothing, but they will go home having put in an enormous 80-minute shift. Here's Nonu, onto Tuisova. Tuisova just bounces the defenders off him. He walked over Josh Charnley there. Here's Juan Smith. Great hands from Gerardo and Smith. Here goes Pelissier. He's got wheels as well. Gitto. Marnonu. If there's one side in European rugby who can get themselves out of this tight spot, believe me, it's Toulon. There goes Gorgodze. We've seen it season after season. Gitto goes through. It's brilliant from the Wallaby. They're inside of the 22. It's the final minute. Desperate for that fourth try. Bastereau. John Smith there. Look at the Sale defence though. George Clancy urging Sale to release. The carry from Gorgodze. Pelissier works the short side. Here goes Halfpenny. They're now inside the 22. The last half minute. Toulon's quarter-final hopes rest on this. Nonu out of Tuisova. Tuisova's got space. James coming across. Tuisova gets the score. What a moment that might be in the recent history of Toulon. They've got the fourth try. They've got the 5th point. The copies of Var Martin, which have rested on the seats for the first 79 minutes and 50 seconds, are now thrown into the air. Celebration time down on the Mediterranean coast. They've spluttered, they've faltered, they've made basic mistakes, but in the end, any good. They've got over the finish line. They will get the full 5.
Yeah, they certainly have, and the power of the bench that's come on has made a huge difference for Toulon. That man, Tuisoba, started it back in his own 22, making a breakout. They had the patience to go through the phases, making break after break, and it was Marnonu's lovely ball over the top to Tuisoba in space. It's his first game back for 3 months after he injured his ankle against Saracens here in round 1, and what a finish to the game. Sale have been magnificent, make no bones about it. But Toulon, mark of a champion team, to be able to pull it out of the bag when they need to, and these 2 tries in the last 2 minutes certainly kept their hopes alive in this tournament.
Lee Halfpenny. Well, he can't quite put the cherry on top of the icing, but the job is done. It, in the end, has been a magnificent afternoon at the Mayol.
Yeah, fantastic game. As I said, Sale, absolutely outstanding. Their effort, their energy that they've put into defence has been huge. A team that's on a real low in terms of their results comes to one of the toughest places in European rugby. But Toulon just had enough class on that bench to pull away at the end.
Well, it's a weekend that may have just transformed Toulon's hopes. The full 5 points and no events at Sandy Park in our next game may alter this. It's now entirely possible that the 3-time champions won't even have to win at Saracens on Saturday to ensure their place in the